Welcome to Pemberley Farm. Today we're going to make banana bread. And just like most everything else I make, I've probably been making this for close to 40 years. Probably a little longer than that. So it's a recipe that we use over and over again. I've tried others, but I always come back to this one because this is the one that we like the best. So today I'm going to share that with you. So what we're going to use today are, of course, our bananas. And we've let these get ripe. You know, they're not rotten, but they're ripe. And this is what the way we like them to be, ripe. All right, and then we're going to have 2/3 cup of sugar, 2/3 cup of oil, 2 eggs, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of soda, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and of the bananas you need a 1.5 cups of them, and then around 1 cup of nuts. And these are pecans because we like pecans, but you could use walnuts or whatever kind of nut you like. But anyway, so that's what we're using. Now there's options. You could change this up and use apples and raisins or whatever. You could use the base recipe. As a matter of fact, we use this recipe when I make persimmon bread. Instead of bananas, I put mashed up persimmons in it because we have several persimmon trees here. So, you know, you can mix it up a little bit and do something besides bananas if you like. And there's been times when I only had not quite enough banana and I had applesauce and I combined it. So, you know, you can mix it up and do different things with it. So that's what we're going to do today. And you first need to start by mashing your bananas. And I don't get, you know, like a potato masher or anything like that. I just mash it up with a fork. There's not that much to it. It doesn't take that long. A real simple process, especially when they're ripe. I mean, now if they're kind of green, you know, it's a little more lengthy because you have to mash more, but when they're this ripe, it's no big deal. Okay, our bananas are all chopped, and our oven just told us that it was preheated to 325. You're going to cook this at 325 for an hour plus. You know, it just depends. So usually it's a little more than an hour. So what we do first we put our 2/3 cup of oil and our 2/3 cup of sugar, and we stir that up good. And then we add our eggs, and I kind of let them drop in one at a time and stir that one in before I add the other one. That way it's all incorporated really well. All right. Something I didn't tell you that you put in is a 1.5 cups of flour. So now I need a 1.5 cups of flour. And then I'm going to add, before I stir that up, I'm going to add my salt and my dry ingredients, in other words, and my soda and my cinnamon. And I'm going to just kind of mix that in just a little bit to my dry. Okay, before I stir it all up completely. Okay, now we're going to add our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Well, maybe a few drops more. We like vanilla. So, we just don't like the fact of how expensive it's become. So then I get all of that stirred up good. And now I'm going to add my bananas. And there may be a little more than a 1.5 cups here, but that's okay. Usually 3 fair-sized bananas is about a 1.5 cups, but those were small bananas and there were 4 of them, so I just used all 4. If you've made this often enough, you know what you can get away with as far as changing, you know, not being exact in the recipe. As far as recipes, sometimes I do, usually if it's the first time I've made it, I'll go right by the recipe, but then after that, you know, all bets are off. I may change. So now we're going to add our nuts. Alright. And then we're going to put it into a greased loaf pan. I'm going to try to do this backwards. It already smells so yummy. If we do enough videos of where I have to do things backwards to me, I may end up becoming ambidextrous. Who knows? Okay, and so it's in our pan. We're going to put it in the oven, 325 for at least an hour. And then you just have to start checking it after that. It usually takes about an hour and 15 minutes. So, you know, but watch, your oven is different. Your whatever pan you use may be different. And so just after an hour, start watching it. All right, we'll come back when we have banana bread complete. Okay, our bread is done. We've taken it out of the oven. I always check my bread with one of the skewers to see if it comes out clean. It's done. So it's nice and golden. It looks really good. And we're just going to, I've let it sit on the cooling rack for about 5 minutes here. And so we're just going to take it out. And there we go. Now it's still very hot, so I'm not going to cut it yet, but we will cut it and put some pictures in here of the fresh banana bread that we've cut. But we're going to let it cool first so that it doesn't get gummy while when you cut it, while it's still so hot. So banana bread's really easy. It's really good. You should give it a try, and especially if you've got bananas that you think are on the verge of going bad, it's a good way to use them up. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Go out and make you some banana bread. You'll enjoy it. Thank you for watching, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share our videos. Check us out as Pemberley Farm on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you, and God bless from Pemberley Farm.